guys, this is James from ScriptForge. This is just a quick tutorial video to get you started, get you set up on the platform and get your first report generated. This is the dashboard that you'll be greeted with when you log in. Just on a bunch of info, your credits and your reports you've done, your projects, basis to highlight, recent activity, and then also some news. Also, we are writing diary logs, some posters you've created. But the first thing I would do, I'm actually just going to go to the project command center and I create a project. And now I'm actually a test project. I'm going to use the matrix script because it's a great example and it's also a great script and film. I'm going to attend this is like on my own script. I'm going to write in there, put it in name. It's a feature film. So I'm going to create a project. So I'm going to go into the project. So when you've added a project to the project command center, it'll come up like this. It'll tell you how many hooks you've done, how many reports you've done, and it'll give you a score. And that is your latest report score analysis that shows there of the master script, which we'll get into in a second. So this is the main project, the matrix, and I'm just going to upload the matrix script. Let's say it's driver version number 1. So I'm going to grab the matrix script. There we are. And I'll load it, simple as that. And should only take you 2 seconds, and there we go. This is your script for the matrix right on here. And you can actually upload multiple scripts for multiple drafts. But generally the master script is the first one out label. You can actually change the master. And the master is the main script which the info scan actually uses, and also it's the main script. If this has a score on it, that score will actually show up on the project command center as well for that project. So what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to actually just run on the info scan, and this should tell me, this sort of brings out just general information and a sort of rundown of the script. It also can give us a synopsis, and we'll see in a second, just takes a second to generate. And also with what we're going to do at the same time is we've actually going to generate a coverage report. There are 3 different reports you can actually generate, but we'll just use, for the sake of this tutorial, we'll just use a coverage report. Obviously, you can get a full evaluation or a first 10-page deep dive. A coverage report is a standard industry document. If you don't know exactly when these are, I'll show you in a minute. But it just gives us a 2 or 3 page overview of the script. It goes through the main characters, can just highlights a few areas and gives a brief rundown of what's working and what is in the scripts. It's primarily used actually for production companies, so they can easily look up scripts and garner interest from them. But they're also very helpful to give writers feedback on the script and how commercially viable it is, good and bad things that are working in the script. So a full amelioration, it gives a far more in-depth document. As there's on a small font, it's roughly about 7 or 8 pages, and it goes into detail with strengths, weaknesses, and areas for improvement, which is very helpful. And that is probably the main thing that I would recommend doing if you really want to improve your script. And then this first 10-page deep dive, that's roughly the same amount of text as the full evaluation, about 6 or 7 pages, but just focusing on your first 10 pages, which is kind of considered like the most important part, really, if you're using it's kind of the other important thing to get those 10 pages right. Because if you're sending a spec script to especially people you don't know or producers, then the first 10 pages you're going to get them hooked. So that's why we sort of thought it'd be a really good idea, because it's a really important part of your script. So I'm just going to generate a coverage report for this script. So it'll start go, and it'll be guessed little message saying it's going to be generating in the background. And if you keep review reports, you'll see that it's processing there. So that takes a minute or so. But while we're there, we go look at it. While we're waiting for that, we can go and look at the script info, which is just being generated, and see that script info is just put in a log line here. So it create a log line for your script, and the script info has a bunch of just information about the script. It's got the writer's genre. Let me see here. We're going character locations, some themes, the UXP. This could be quite useful if you're making a lookbook for your project, but you can just copy and paste this into it. And I mean, obviously, you'll probably have a log line for your script, but this is just one that is generated off the back of it. You can choose to use this or not. And we are actually developing a log grind generator at the moment, which hasn't launched yet, but that'd be quite a fun thing to really hone that log grind in. Also, it pulls a synopsis, so it creates a synopsis, which again could be really useful for a lookbook. The rest of the pulls generated, and we can just click into kit view. So there's a little visual representation of your scores, of course, interesting to look at. And then, yeah, this is the coverage report. And if you redo this, well, then this is a scoring breakdown and a verge at the bottom. Recommend, obviously, it got made and brilliant script. So that's pretty much it, really, for the project command center. And again, started to a info scan and a synopsis and the reports, really. And if you wonder, you can actually, if I had another version of Matrix, I could just upload it and put it in version 2, and it'll come up. And then you could, if you wanted to, you could make that version 2 the master script as well. And if there's significant changes, you can also just run a info scan again, and it'll rescan the script and update, I think. But yeah, that's pretty much it. As you can see, yeah, back to the dashboard, and it's just said activity is the stuff you've done. Obviously, we've done one report, one project. It's your latest report. So all good information to have there. So I hope you find this useful. Happy writing.